Hello, my name is Abdulrahman Amin. I'm a game developer and game designer with a great passion for creating immersive gaming experiences. Today, I'm going to explore the creative technique of mind mapping and showing you how it can be used to design video games. So, mind mapping. Mind mapping is actually a very powerful tool that helps organize thoughts and ideas visually, making it easier to see the bigger picture and develop complex projects like video games. In this video, I'll explain what mind map is, demonstrate how to use it in game design, and analyze its effectiveness in enhancing creativity and problem solving. All right, so mind mapping. What exactly is mind mapping? What's a mind map? Well, mind mapping is the process or is actually the technique that involves creating a diagram to represent words, ideas, tasks, or other concepts linked around a central idea. This visual representation helps in brainstorming, organizing, and structuring information. To create a mind map, you usually start with a central concept, which in our case is our the video game that we want to design. From the central concept, we draw other branches that represent the main components of your game, such as the story, the gameplay, the mechanics, the characters, and levels. Each of these components can be further broken down into subcomponents. So each component or each branch is going to have its own branches and its own subcomponents, right? So this can allow us to explore every aspect of our game in detail. Or if we look at it at a more abstract way, we can look at every aspect of our idea that we're trying to map in every detail, right? So like I said, in our game, we're going to draw the central concept in the center, and then add all the branches and all the components branching out of the central idea. It's basically a mind map. That's what a mind map is. It's a diagram. So for example, under story, you might have branches for the main plot or the subplots, and the character's backstory. Under gameplay or mechanics, you might include core mechanics, secondary mechanics, and unique features. And you can also expand this much further. You can add under mechanics here your specific mechanics, like, for example, combat mechanics, abilities, magic, right, or anything that your character can do. Using mind mapping, you can visually organize and connect different elements of your game, making it easier to see relationships and dependencies, and identify gaps and generate new ideas. All right. So now that we know what mind mapping actually is, let's apply mind mapping to the process of game design. So applying mind mapping to game design is actually going to be very simple. So first of all, we need to identify what our video game is going to be about. We need to find the central idea that's going to branch out to the rest of the components in our video game. So first of all, you need to identify a theme or a genre. There's a lot of genres like maybe third-person shooters, sci-fi games, adventure games, fantasy games, RPGs. You have a lot of stuff, right? So I've chose for this video, our title, our central idea for our game is going to be a fantasy adventure game, right? We're going to start, let me get a whiteboard. So we need to write down our central idea, which is going to be, like we just said, a fantasy adventure game. All right, great. So we have our central idea. We need to identify all the branches that are going to be present in our mind. So first of all, we're going to need a story. Any game needs a story. Even if you don't have a campaign or plot or actually levels that tell the story, you need a story for the world of the game, right? And also, we're going to need something for the gameplay and the mechanics. So, gameplay and mechanics, right? And after that, we're also going to need something for our characters. And we're going to need a branch for our levels. And here we can start actually creating more branches or sub-branches from our from our main branches, right? So, for example, a story is going to have a main plot, of course, and it can have subplots also. So we need a subplot in the main plot, right? And we're also going to need characters' backstories, right? So characters' backstories, and here we can actually see why mind mapping is very useful for game design. Right now, I have characters' backstories as a sub-branch of story, but I also have characters as a main branch from our central idea. So we can actually start connecting our components together and know what depends on what. So right now, I know that characters depend on the story. So I can create a story, I can create a character without actually finishing the story first, right? So, yep. And actually, you can add more stuff. You can add in the characters part, you can add protagonists and antagonists, supporting characters, and NPCs, of course. In the levels, you can create the world map, the key locations, the level design, and the concepts of the level design, and puzzles and challenges. And the core gameplay mechanics, you can add the exploration, combat, you can add secondary mechanics, you can add unique features in the game. So for each of these branches, it can be further expanded. For instance, under core mechanics, like I said. All right, so finally, we're going to analyze the effectiveness of actually using mind maps for game design, right? So using mind mapping to design our video game has several benefits. It allows us to clearly visualize the different components and their connections, making it easier to identify the dependencies and potential issues early in the development process. For example, by mapping out the story and characters, we can ensure that character development aligns with the plot, that each character has a meaningful role in the story. By detailing the gameplay mechanics, we can plan how different features interact and ensure a cohesive player experience. Mind mapping also helps in brainstorming new ideas and solutions, but brainstorming is actually another creative process that can be used in other stuff too, right? When we see the game structures laid out visually, it becomes easier to spot opportunities for innovation and improvement, right? So overall, mind mapping is an effective tool for organizing and developing complex projects like video games, enhancing creativity and improving problem-solving capabilities. Actually, today I used a whiteboard to make a mind map for a game, but you can use a lot of helpful tools like Milanote and Miro. It supports online collaboration and it has a lot of useful templates for game design and game development. So yeah, and that was it, and thank you so much for watching.